I was watching this podcast, this interview that Dolph Ziggler did. I forgot the wrestling podcast that he was on, but he mentioned on why he decided to go to TNA wrestling and not AEW. Tony Khan definitely had reached out to him, and he told Dolph Ziggler that you can do whatever you want, you have all the freedom, etc. And when you think about that, right? All the freedom, you can do whatever you want. Yeah, that sounds good to any wrestler, but that's just coming from the WWE. But that's not going to guarantee a lot of success in that company. You may have all the creative control, all the freedom that you want as a wrestler, but you're not guaranteed to succeed. That wrestler is not guaranteed to be a draw, to be really pushed to the moon. It's not going to turn out the best results for that wrestler. It's better with the WWE because there's more of a system. The WWE machine is a real thing. And it can make a lot of wrestlers look like $1 million, like true main event stars. You see a pattern with AEW wrestlers that go there and it's like their value decreases. You look at Matt and Jeff when they went to AEW, they really did nothing important. And that only damaged their value over time. Their value had been damaged. It almost killed, the Hardy Boys legacy. The same things happened to Adam Copeland too. Edge, aka Edge, his value is decreasing with him just being in AEW. And when Scott D'Amore reached out to Dolph Ziggler, he was like, I want you to come down here to see how we do things, to see how the system is. We have a system put in place. There's a structure in TNA. See, unlike AEW, TNA actually knows how to revive WWE, ex-WWE careers, right? Careers that were kind of killed in the WWE and they went to TNA, right? And they were able to revive their careers. Look at Christian. Look at Booker T. And I can make a separate video about this too. But with Dolph Ziggler, him going to AEW was not going to be beneficial to him. And I think even himself, he knows that. With TNA, it feels like he's on that path to becoming the face, to becoming the guy in TNA. He can be almost like the Roman Reigns of TNA. Not quite, but somewhat close, similar, because at this point, Dolph Ziggler deserves to be in that position to where he can be called the guy in AEW. And I'm not AEW, TNA wrestling. With AEW, he would just get lost in the shuffle, like a lot of guys do. A lot of guys in AEW, they get lost in the shuffle. Tony Khan hires them. He books them on a couple of Dynamites and Collision, and after a month or two, he don't know what to do with them. There's no direction. There's nothing being put in place for talent that go to AEW. They're just there to wrestle every week and no substance. How much you want to bet? If Dolph Ziggler went to AEW, he would get lost in the shuffle within a month. Within a month of him being there, he would just be like every other name. I cannot see Dolph Ziggler going to AEW and giving an AEW World Championship reign. I just would not be able to see that happening. If Dark was around, I would not put it past Tony Khan to put Dolph Ziggler on AEW Dark. And once in a while, have him on Collision and Dynamite and have him put over his favorites. So it was easy for Dolph Ziggler to make that decision to go to TNA. Because, like I said, there's more structure. Scott D'Amore obviously knows what he's doing with TNA. And I feel like now, with the whole TNA being revived, there's definitely more eyes on TNA. Not as much as it used to be back in the day, because they don't have much of a TV network. But I guarantee you, if TNA comes back on television, mainstream, people are going to look at TNA. People are going to watch TNA. I can see more people watching TNA in 2024 than Dynamite or Collision, week to week. I could see that happening. Back when TNA was on Spike, there was definitely more eyes on the product, especially with big names like Kurt Angle, Booker T, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, Jeff Hardy, etc. And with Dolph Ziggler going to TNA, it's only a matter of time until he becomes a face with that brand. So I think Dolph made the right choice to go to TNA. Because look at him now. He's one of the top guys already in TNA. He's not lost in the shuffle. With TNA, you get the sense that there is more direction, that everybody is booked well. Everybody's not lost in the shuffle. Everybody has their place. And of course, Dolph is not going to be the champion, right out of the gate. But give it a couple more months, Dolph is going to be the TNA world champion. And he's definitely going to be a top name, possibly the face of TNA for years to come. And it just feels like a right place for his talents, his mic skills, and overall and as time progresses, I can see Dolph being, that Christian, being similar to AJ Styles, who he was in TNA, being someone that can carry the company going forward. You can't do that in AEW because there's so much talent in AEW. There's so much of a stacked roster. Dolph would easily get lost in the shuffle because you already have all these high quality, great wrestlers